Holla ballers and a bro fist to you all. I come to you live on this fine Friday in the sweltering, melting heat of the goddamn UK, man. Oh, it's horrendous. It's so bad. It's so bad. This room must be like nearly 38 degrees in it. It's awful. I had to go sleeveless for part of the stream, and that's not just because we reviewed OK Mage's tier list, and I had to wear a heart rate monitor. Check the highlights for that. Disturbing is what I'd use. The ramblings of the criminally insane would be another way of looking at it. Absolutely gross and disgusting. And of course, we've had the announcement of the brand new WoW patch. Looks great. Everything seems really good. We checked a bunch of interviews and stuff today. Everything sounds hunky-dory, especially for the people who wish to get Pathfinder again. Who wish to get their Pathfinder on and have a good time. Yes, and we have been working our way through FF12. We returned to that. We had, of course, a little controversy this week. We started the week with Starfield. We're super excited for it. Been waiting for it for a good couple of years, and it just didn't grab me at all. Really sad about that. It was gutted. Had a whole like 3-week period of good quality RPGing, some good storytelling, some good voices, and some adventures for us all to go on. But it just didn't get me. Wasn't there for me. We gave it a good 11 hours of trying it out, but wasn't for me. I hope it's for you if you've picked it up or you got it on Game Pass and you enjoy the hell out of it. Just was not for me. It gets better later. My Twitter is still... I just checked before we went live. My Twitter is still going with people arguing about Starfield. It's pretty wacky. It's pretty wacky. I literally from like a few minutes ago, people are still commenting and putting the things in there and all that kind of stuff about it. I still think I'm going to play it like as my off-stream game when I usually have like half an hour to play a PC game. Obviously, I can't boot the stream up for that. So that'll probably be my game just to mess around in and see where it goes. But I'm not going to lie, it's currently uninstalled. I haven't even tried the new PoE League yet, and I really want to. really. Yeah, at some point, maybe I'll get to it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. There may be a stream tomorrow. It will depend. I'm doing a park run by my wife's request tomorrow. I'm doing a 5K run, and then I've got to take them all for dinner in the evening. So there might be an afternoon gap in there. We can have a bit of a stream. But we'll see what happens then. We'll see what happens. I'm promising nothing. Sunday, I am completely booked solid. There's nothing happening on Sunday. We are making our new YouTube video for you. We have prepared things, and we know what we want it to be about. As always, we have put this message out, but I will do an official one. Is our YouTube channel will now be focused on very big, what we consider to be great videos, similar to our last one that we think are excellent. All stuff that's like talking about bits and bobs and opinion pieces will be over on our highlights channel, and the main channel will be reserved for these larger, big videos. And that's what's happening on Sunday. We're filming then. So that's not why you're here right now, you wonderful people. As we prepare for our upcoming journeys, we will be off to FanFest and, of course, to BlizzCon very, very shortly, which I'm very excited for. But right now, we're here for some of this. I see the return. I saw this title and I was like, we have to read this. GigaDad. I don't remember the return of GigaDad. I don't know who GigaDad is. There's no names listed for me, so I'm going to leave it as my name. I will claim the title and the throne of GigaDad. I think that is the way it has to be. GigaDad is what it's going to be about. All right, let's have a go. Preacher, hello again. Hello. You might not remember me, but last week you read my brother's story, Warcrack. Oh, you're the sister. Oh, okay. You're the sister. I see. About how my brother scammed me out of my birthday money so he could buy World of Warcraft, and how my father stole that account. Yeah, it's coming back to me now. Okay, I hope before we go any further into this tale that I'm not in some way causing some sort of internal family strife. If I remember right, you guys have had enough of that already. Your mother broke a door, she drugged your father. All that kind of went on. I want to be very clear. You are by choice sending us these tales. It is not my responsibility to manage the emotional and social affairs of your family. Okay? That's not on me. So whatever's about to happen, it's a disclaimer. It's a disclaimer. I wash my hands of internal family matters. That's not on me at all to deal with, and so I refuse, frankly. And how many a guildie of theirs stole not only my brother's gear, but tried to steal our dad from our mother. That's true. Yeah, your dad was put on a to-do list, was to do Jennifer or whatever she was called. It was like, do the laundry, make $1 million, fuck Jennifer. That was on your father's to-do list, I remember. Didn't come across as the brightest spark to do that. Everyone seems to love those tales of how my dad wrote on his goal list to leave my mother to be with his guildie. So I figured I would share another story of playing World of Warcraft with my dad. Okay. Firstly, I want to thank the jury, aka your chat, for determining that my brother was in fact guilty for scamming me out of my money. Secondly, yes, we all shared an account for a while, all three of us. Eventually, my brother got his own account, and I got to share an account with my dad. Wait. Okay. Fuck off a minute, right? You're telling me, right, you got birthday money. Your brother convinced you to buy World of Warcraft with your birthday money for him to play. Your dad then stole the account that you paid for, and then your dad bought your brother his own account, and you who paid for the original account got nothing. You got to eventually share. Wow. It just gets worse with this family. Girls don't even like games. Yeah, that's the truth of it. During Wrath of the Lich King, my dad caved and bought me an account. Oh, it only took 2 expansions. GigaDad might be stretching it a little bit. Now, of course, as you probably realize, at this point, all 3 of us had our own accounts. My dad thought it would be really fun family activity. Oh, your poor mother. Your poor mother. Oh, my God. My dad thought it would be a really fun family activity to level up characters together. To make it a true family event, he brought our younger sister into the process as well. I mean, it's just the same as going to the beach or going on a bike ride or going on a hike or anything like that, or going to the cinema, right? That poor mother. That poor, poor mother. Unsurprisingly, our mother did not want to play World of Warcraft with us. I'm sure you can figure out why. So we built a LAN center in the house. Oh, this mother. And the 4 of us started our new server. Jesus Christ. We decided we would rock the Alliance game. I was playing a hunter, my baby sister made a warlock, my dad played a priest, and I believe my brother was playing a paladin. You'll have to excuse any parts where my memory lapses. It takes place right before Kata dropped, and then of course during Kata. By the time Kata had arrived, though, I was 13 years old. My younger sister was 11, an 11-year-old warlock. What utter fucking trash. What absolute degenerate trash is an 11-year-old warlock. Fuck my life. Can you imagine getting in a pug and it's an 11-year-old warlock? Fuck me. My brother by this time was 18. So as you can imagine, my sister and I weren't top elite players. In fact, we were fucking garbo. Yeah, we guessed. We guessed. But since there were 4 of us, one of them could tank, one could heal. Getting groups was really quick and easy. Most of the time, we would rope in a friend into doing dungeons with us, or my brother's girlfriend at the time, who also played WoW with us. Oh, we're getting a full-on combo of people here. Okay. However, wait. Is this my family? There's no way. No, it doesn't quite add up. It's close, though. It's really close. It's very close. My brother, his son... Yeah, my brother has 3 kids. He has an older son and 2 younger daughters who all played WoW in his house. I used to go and play there as a kid because my dad hated me playing video games. So I'd go out to my brother's house and sit in his LAN center. And his girlfriend did leave him because he turned his living room into a LAN center and he turned his washroom in the back into the new living room. This better not be my brother. I don't recall, I can't say the real name, although it's in my head, smashing a door. No, my brother was never drugged. No. My brother was never drugged. No. As far as I know, anyway. I'm pretty sure my brother never got drugged. Okay. However, our family fun leveling time wasn't complete without screaming. My father had quite a temper. Okay, it's not my brother. Yeah, my brother is not moving anywhere when he's gaming. My father had quite a temper on him. And if our group on the DPS meter wasn't performing well enough in dungeons or raid, he would scream at us. You're 11? You're 11 and 13 and your DPS sucks. I don't care if you're wearing diapers. That damage is abysmal. What's so hard? Shadow Ball. Not hard. Stop dying. My brother and my dad shared a computer. Oh, okay, so they haven't even got their own computers each. Oh, Jesus Christ. My brother and my dad, this is not my family. I'm happy now. My brother and my dad shared a computer room. Oh, a computer room. Shit. And even when they raided together on their main characters without my sister and I, my dad would mute himself on vent, turn to my brother, and yell at him for any mistakes he was making. Jesus Christ. What a fun family time this is. Like, I'm having the best time. You know, these are the memories that really bind us together. When I look back on my childhood, this is the memories that I want to share, right? Sure, I had the horrible moment of having to apply a V-Bucks card that my son got to his birthday the other day, but still. So at this point in time, Cataclysm right on the horizon. But with my dad paying for 4 accounts, he couldn't afford to get us the expansion together. Of course, my dad got his first. He was paying for it after all. That's fair. That's fair. Oh, fuck you. Okay, yeah, motherfucker. He bought himself the Cata Collector's Edition. Look, kids, I know you love this game. I know you love family time with the whole family. I know you love it. I can't afford to buy the expansion for all of you. I am buying myself the collector's edition, though. I am doing that. We are not the same. We are not the same. To this day, he made it a tradition to always buy himself the collector's edition of all WoW expansions, even the dogshit ones. After he got himself a copy of Cataclysm, he determined... There's no way! There's no fucking way. He determined a system on how each sibling would acquire their expansion in which order, based on their damage performance in dungeons. Now, because my brother was our tank, of course he managed to qualify for the next expansion because my dad refused to heal pug tanks. Jesus, this is so bad. I feel so bad for you. I really do. My kids are spoiled as fuck, but still, like, unfucking believable. This is terrible. I actually wasn't worried about this and took it as a W, since my sister was younger and shitter than me. However, I fucked up. One night, while our new characters were doing Shadowfang Keep, I had enough. We hadn't even got to the second boss, and Dad was screaming at us about how badly we were doing in Shadowfang Keep. So, I decided to play even worse, to fuck him over. I just couldn't be arsed. We were dumb kids. I was actually trying my best. So, I basically did nothing for the rest of the dungeon. At the end of the dungeon, he called all of us to the gaming room like the X Factor. Where he announced that it would be my younger sister to be on the receiving end of the next copy of Cataclysm. What? I screamed. I out DPS her every time. But not today, he said calmly. He knew that I had slacked off on purpose. And the next expansion he bought for the whole family was not for me. My sister didn't even want it. She fucking hated playing WoW with us. To this day, she won't touch WoW. Haunted by the memories of being forced to level characters with our dad. I have to make a slight change. I've got to make a slight adjustment. I have to. The trauma is too real, dude. Yeah, name adjustment. We can't support somebody being called GigaDad who is behaving this way. Like, this is unacceptable. Our dad, though, was hooked. And even when one of us started to bitch about playing, he pushed on and made us play. In our house, our dad would ground us if we refused to watch films with him. Claiming that we were complaining about spending time together. Dad, because there's king shit. King shit. So, of course, if we didn't want to play World of Warcraft with him that night, we either caved or were grounded to our rooms for the rest of the evening for spoiling family time. He even went as far as to ground my brother of 18, making him unallowed to play his WoW account. But my dad, in his words, was a generous man. Your dad sounds like Xerxes. If he wanted to play WoW so badly, he could hop... Oh, God. Okay, so the brother gets grounded if he... meaning he's not allowed to play on his WoW account. But his dad was so generous that if he really begged to play World of Warcraft while grounded, he was allowed to play our dad's account and grind Alterac Valley rep for him. The fact that some of you are starting to support the dad really worries me for the future of the nation. Like... The fact that some of you are like starting to change shape and be like, you know what, fuck it. I'm actually on board. Eventually, as you can probably imagine, our little group fell apart. My sister just didn't want to play. My brother and my dad preferred to spend their time on their mains and stop leveling with the little girls, doing endgame kata content. And for a while as a group, we tried to do something fresh, which was Star Wars The Old Republic, where it didn't really get off the ground. Plus, oh, the name's here, but I won't say it. Our sister refused to group with us, even though we were playing the same game. Oh, that's so dark. Yeah, I want to play the game, but not with you, family. Absolutely not with you. I'm just going to play on my fucking own, if you don't mind. That's so dark, right? That's so dark. I don't blame her. While writing this, I texted my sister asking if she remembered any stories from this time that I could add to this and give some context. The reply I got from her was, I'll have to think. I mostly remember not being allowed to have fun. Sad face. She still thinks about it to this day. How old would she be now, right? When was Cataclysm? So she was 11 during Cataclysm. Cata came out in 2010. So she's 24 now. And still thinks about it. She's 24 and still tormented by World of Warcraft. Jesus Christ, Dad. Oh, man. Oh, God, so bad. Not too long ago, I decided I would play with my dad again. Are you fucking joking? We were going to level together during Wrath of the Lich King Classic. It was actually really nice. He could still get angry quickly, but it wasn't really directed at me anymore. Plus, I'm no longer a 13-year-old idiot and I can actually outplay him. Nice. You fuck him up on the damage meters. You should start screaming at him. Oh, please do that. I beg of you so fucking much is to get into a raid and outperform him and just fucking bitch at him rotten. Just like, what in the... Just be like chilling, right? Just be chilling. And then when the boss dies, just go... Dad, can I ask you a question? What's wrong? What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Are you trying to embarrass me? You know people here know we're related. And you're going to come into the fucking raid, play like that, right? You arthritic, senile, old diaper-wearing fuck. You're going to stand it. Go and stand over there. Go on. Move your PC. Move it, because I can see your screen. I can see your screen. I can see what you're pressing, and it's fucking sad. It's sad. You know what it looks like? You look like an alcoholic who fell on his mouse. That's what it looks like when you play. It does. It does. I swear to God, if you just let your drool fall on the keyboard, it would play better than what you're doing. Would have thought you loved family time. Family time? This is game time. Right? Game time. No family here. There's me on my DPS, you on your DPS. And somebody here isn't doing their bit. Love you, Dad. Like that. Just drop that bomb. Easy. I won't lie. Sometimes playing with him is taxing. The man is, as Preach called him last week, a turbo dumbass. We still love him though. A funny side note, my dad eventually did get my mother to play World of Warcraft within the last few years. I had to help them quite a lot. It was usually the three of us in a group. Oh my God, this is like family therapy. My mum obviously didn't understand how the game works, and my dad would get frustrated and short-tempered with her. So I decided to put my PC between theirs and play mediator, trying to calm my father and help my mum get better. You know, if you want, there's a guy on YouTube who made guides all the way from here that are still extremely relevant to this day and all make sense. You can get her to watch some of those. He's a British guy, so he's got a bit of an accent. It might help her out. He goes from start to finish on that. You'll be fine. As you can imagine, her playing World of Warcraft did not last very long. I wanted to wrap up this story, and I hope you enjoyed more of my dad's wild antics. No, we're not enjoying it. We're deeply saddened. We are. Like, as a community, we're all deeply saddened by what's gone on. Where, yeah, no more, please. Please, no more. Our dad is still very intense, but he's simmered down in his old age. We all love him very much. My sister still refuses to let him play Final Fantasy XIV with us. And all of these stories my siblings and I have from our youth are fun stories to us that we can reminisce of instead of going into therapy. Thanks for listening to my story. I hope everyone enjoyed a little bit more perspective into last week's story from my brother. Well, well, I mean, it's an adventure to go on, for sure. It's an adventure to go on, but thankfully, this will definitely rescue it. I have no idea what this is about. Daughter is guilty. Are we declaring the whole family guilty at this point? Is that what we're doing? Are we declaring the entire family strata guilty? Is that what we're doing? Okay. Well, this one's called Family Matters. I think we're at, you know what? I think this week, those of us at Preach Gaming and those of us in the PG community are in fact just a sounding board for some family relations, all right? It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, guys. Good afternoon, Preacher and Jury. My sir, I come to you for the wonderful state of Arizona in the US of A. Today, I want to tell you as I write this, we are at 107 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 42 degrees Celsius for you non-freedom lovers. Well, I can tell you, I literally have sweat running down my neck. Like, it's gross. Today is disgusting here. So instead of going outside, I'm going to write y'all's a story. Okay. I want to take you back to the early days of the Burning Crusade expansion. I'm 17, and everyone I knew got into WoW around this time. Coming from RuneScape, this felt like a gigantic leap forward in technology. I still, like many of us, remember the first time I saw the game. My friend was showing me his character while on a flight path. The graphics of this game were revolutionary. The griffin moved so quickly around the edge of a beautiful snowy cliff face and tightly through a slat in the side of a mountain. From there, it circled the inside of that mountain, flying high over the lava and eventually landing within the city below. And I saw Ironforge. While looking at it, all I thought to myself was, this game is gorgeous. I must play it. I must have it. And play I did. I got myself an account and spent every ounce of free time I had gaming. I woke up 2 hours before school so I could game before I left. When at school, I did homework at school as fast as I could so that I could get home again. I could jump on and play some more. I decided to start skipping meals as it was cutting into my playtime. I would wait for my parents to go to bed and then silently get out of bed again, turn on the PC as quietly as I could, and game until 4 a.m. Well, I eventually did pass out and go to sleep. All I would dream of was running through Azeroth, slaying beasts, killing evildoers along the way. I was a human mess. At least you can admit it. I am so glad there was no pictures taken of me at that time, because I would have looked straight up a meth addict. My physical and mental health declined. Eventually, it got to the point where my father started taking my PC power lead at bedtime. Weren't you 17? You're 17 years old, and your dad's got to take the PC power plug away. Oh, Jesus Christ. I could stay up all night if I wanted to. I'm 17. But there would be no computer. It was incredibly effective, and it led to one of the scariest encounters I ever had with my dad. But that's not the story for today. Oh, don't tease us. Don't tease. Today, Preacher and the Preachettes, I want to tell you about my mother. This can't be another abused mother. Please. We can't have back-to-back abused mothers. It can't be. It can't be. I refuse. These poor mothers. My mother and I were very close growing up. She was extremely loving and would do almost anything if it meant making me happy. She even played a few games with me in the past, including the Mario games, Final Fantasy X, which she completed fully. She put approximately 150 hours into that game. With that info in hand, most would see my mother was a pretty casual gamer. Nothing crazy, but enough experience for her to be dangerous. And when she saw World of Warcraft, I heard the words that would be the dread. That game looks pretty cool. And so, my friends, it began. My mother made a new Night Elf Druid. I made a Night Elf Hunter alongside her, and we started our journey. My mother, while knowing computers fairly well, had never played a PC game, and it showed. The idea of WASD sounded completely unknown to her, and frustrations quickly mounted as she would forget how to even make her character move or stare at the keyboard as to where to put her fingers. I would, of course, kill the things while she struggled to move her character anywhere near me. And to top it off, I was 17. I was impatient, and I loved playing WoW, and I was a bit of a shithead. I had my own character that wasn't this crappy carry character, and I hadn't capped it yet. And I really, really, really wanted to play my own character, especially given the level of fun I was having with my mother. Before we finished the Teldrassil zone, I decided I would make an adult decision. I turned to my mother, and I informed her that I love her very, very much, and that I will not be playing with her anymore. I hope she enjoys her time. I turned back to my PC, logged off my character, and logged onto my main, and decided in my head, which I thought was the best solution for everybody, that things would be better if she just figured it out for herself, which is exactly what I did back in the day. Preach and the jury. The jury is out in force, my friend. I will admit to you all here today, this moment continues to be one of the biggest regrets of my life with my mother and mine's relationship. I recognize to some that it probably doesn't seem like much of anything at all. But I love my mama, and to this day, I feel bad that I hurt her, and she was clearly just looking forward to playing with me. And yet, despite me doing this to her, my mother rose like a phoenix. She didn't give up. She didn't walk away. She didn't call it quits. My mother persisted. She continued on. She leveled that character and she figured it out. She figured it all out, all on her own. She started getting good. She started to reach towards max level. Even so, I refused to play with her. In my head, I just knew she was going to bring me down. And I wasn't going to go with that again. After all, I had a reputation to protect. A reputation that I deserved and had earned, and she would probably ruin it. I had become, ladies and gentlemen, all stand, the lead elemental shaman in my guild that is currently raiding Zulaman. I mean, essentially an admiral. If you really want to equate it to some sort of real life situation, a general in many eyes, you know, lots of things, lots and lots of things going on. Like, there's just no time. I knew that with my responsibilities as head elemental shaman, that I didn't have time for her or her games or to help her level. I was now reaching echelons of WoW she couldn't even fathom at the time. I will point out our author realizes how fucking stupid this sounds because at the end of his sentence he's just put ... Like, I know. I get it. I totally understand what you're all thinking right now. I am right there with you. But she didn't stop. She was the oncoming storm, my friends. My mother hit max level and went further. She joined a raid guild and started raiding. She started to get better and better, pushing her abilities as far as she could. However, as with almost every person who has touched the game, my mother fell victim to Azeroth's sweet allure. Addiction. Oh, Jesus Christ, not again. It's not the reverse. I swear to God, if your mum's trying to bang someone in your guild, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God. Her addiction grew. Her addiction rose. Her addiction to the game started to set in as we approached the launch of Wrath of the Lich King. She stopped eating. She stopped cooking. She essentially stopped doing everything except playing World of Warcraft. And while, of course, it started as relatively harmless, as many people do who are into a new game for a short period of time, and Dad and I are not morons and we can cook for ourselves, we started to see that this was scarily similar to the experience that I had had. The only difference was that my dad couldn't take away my mother's PC power lead. She was his wife. You can't really use the kid correction tactics on her. I mean, you can. You can. I know if my wife became an addict to something, I would step in, I think. I think she'd do the same for me as well. Over time, unsurprisingly, it started to affect the family. My father started to get irritated and reserved. I could see the trend, and to be honest, I was getting really tired of the food my dad cooked. He was very, very good at cooking pot pies, but not much of anything else. And I was getting really, really tired of pot pie. So I told myself, enough is enough. My father had intervened on me all those times back. I was going to intervene in this. So I did what any responsible, sane person would do in a situation like this. I puffed out my chest. I swept my hair back. And I went to ask the guidance counselor at school for help. Quality maneuver. 10 out of 10. Oh God, though, but will they have to report it? I don't know what the rules are. I never had a guidance counselor at school. Do they have to report shit like this? Like there's problems in the home? Maybe. Now, Preach and Co. I realized that maybe having a conversation with my mother would have been the correct move, not to mention the adult maneuver. But I was a pussy, and she was my mother. I hated conflict, and the thought of telling my mother how I felt about something that she was doing was an impossible mountain for me to climb. Even though I cared about her, I worried that my words would hold no weight when it came to how she lived her adult life. That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. I think that's a fair shout. We good? Yeah, we're fine. Okay. And so I sat before my guidance counselor, and I told them about my mother's problem and my concern. Interestingly enough, he said this was not new to him. That he was currently treating multiple students with World of Warcraft addictions. But he admitted this was the first time that a student had brought their parents' World of Warcraft addiction to him. I started to realize how stupid this all is. I was tattling to my guidance counselor on my mother in a high school about playing games. As I was sat there listening to him, my brain just said, what in the hell have I done? I wanted to take back time. Take back what I told him, but it was of course too late. You can't reseal Pandora's box. I tattled on my mother and had to reap the consequences of what I sowed. Oh no! The guidance counselor called my mum. Oh, fuck me. And asked her if she had time to come to the school office. She was at work during this call. They thought it was an emergency, left work early and came to the school thinking I was in trouble or was in some sort of mental breakdown because she was on the way to the guidance counselor. Oh my God. This is so bad. This is so bad. It's so bad. Everything about this is so bad. No doubt thinking something bad had happened, or perhaps, as she told me later, that I'd become involved in drugs. Oh my God. She walked into the office and she saw me sitting there with my head hung low, tail between my legs. What's going on? Are you okay? She asked. Please take a seat. And then the guidance counselor said the words which ripped my brain in two. So bad. It's so bad. Your son has something he wishes to tell you. so bad. It's so bad. I stared at him with my jaw wide open. How in the fuck could he do this to me? I did not want to have this conversation. That's why I'd gone to him in the first place. What the hell is he being paid for? Is he just going to make me do what? Jesus Christ. I stared at him slack-jawed. He gave me the eyes of go on. Go on, you all know those eyes. Go on. And I sighed a heavy, heavy sigh. Mother, I've been concerned about the amount of time you spend on World of Warcraft. You aren't eating. You aren't sleeping. You're not being my mother. And I want you back. I think that's king shit, honestly. He did it. He said the words. I think that's pretty king shit. I like it. I like it. I don't think that's cringe at all. I think that's king shit. The quiet filled the room like a fog. After I had finished speaking the sentence, it felt like forever passed. Our eyes were locked. You could almost see the words bouncing around inside of her head. I know that she was sat there thinking that I'd been doing drugs or some other horrific high school story was about to come out, and nothing in her brain could have prepared her for the fact that I had gone to the school guidance counselor about her playing a video game. And I could see that she had no way to respond. And then it got worse. As the words settled in, I could see her eyes welling up. And the next words out of her mouth broke me. I'm only playing WoW to spend time with you. If you want to spend so much time in that world, I want to do it with you. I wanted to have my son back before you go off and be your own man. This is the saddest shit I think we've ever had on Drama Time. This is some sad, sad, sad shit, Dad. Get fucked. This is so sad. Oh my god, this is so fucking sad. This broke the tension. I got up and I hugged her immediately. My counselor sat there seeming so pleased with himself with what he had facilitated. And we spent the next 30 minutes or so talking about other problems we had and seeing how we could fix them. What a hero. Fuck that guy. I did this. I made this happen. And in essence, he did. Say what you want, but he did make it happen. He did. My mother and I reconciled. She played less and restarted her motherly life. I played less and took time to spend with my parents outside of gaming. I also started playing a character with my mother again. We've had our disputes throughout the years, but to this day, we still play together. We're in the same guild, and we frequently play in the same raid group, usually on a Friday night. I also pushed for her into the Mythic Plus scene, where she currently holds an IO score of around 1800, which is pretty damn good score for someone who is currently in their 60s. I want to send your mother a gift. Fuck me. Your mother is awesome. She's in her 60s and she's popping 1800. You get it, girl. Get it done. My friends and the guildies love her to death, and I can't imagine my WoW life without her. My entire real life has been shaped by her concern and love for me, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And if you're listening, Mama, I love you, and I always will. Let me say that again. Mummy, I love you, and I always will. From your son. P.S. To let you know, we've done Aberrus about a gajillion times at this point, so we aren't technically raiding at this time. but we've always been big about helping people. We used to do pug raids where we teach people about the mechanics and help people who thought they would never raid past LFR and knock out some normal. If there are enough people on the US servers who want to restart this, I'll send in an update with a community name for you to join. We love helping people. Come and raid with Mommy. Well, Team USA, if you're a shitter and you want to go and raid with Mommy and get the cuddles you maybe didn't have because your dad ruined gaming for you, go and find him there. Okay? Go and find him there. We'll find out what the hell's going on there. Oh, hot damn. That was really sad for a period of time. That was really sad. Although I've got to say, if my mum said she wanted to play games with me, I'm an only child. I'm an only child. That's not happening. Ain't no way, ain't no how. Rookie to Rivensbane. 1800 IO score. 1800, not 16. 18. 18. My emotions have been sucker punched twice. Well, let's have some fun. Bex, is this 2 guilds that are required for this one, or 1 with a theme? I'm not sure. Any confirmation on that? All right, we will need at least 1. I need the name of an all-girl guild. It's one guild name. One guild, a mega clan of all girls. All girls. The mommy cuddles, the moms. Okay, Fran's feet, high heels, the moms, the mummies. Something that's less mother related, all right? Real girls, the Barbie fan club, the mommies clam bake, Booba Puff girls, the Barbies, the Milfies. Okay, anything non-sexual in there somewhere. Something non-sexual. The aunties, the kitchen squad, the GigaChadettes, the Spice Girls, the Lipstick Warriors. We'll roll with that. The Lipstick Warriors. There we go. Oh, Turbo Tits. Yeah, very helpful. Very, very helpful. Okay. All right. A cordial salutations, preacher, and a fond greeting to your effervescent chat. That's you guys. I come to you today as a proud representative of Team USA and an even prouder representative of Team Vagina. More importantly, I come to you today as a savior. Okay. For I have heard your cries for help. You need stories from other games, and I have fulfilled your fetch quest with the golden MacGuffin in hopes of securing maybe a few XP, a handful of currency, and a junk item to collect dust in my inventory. Yes, I am from that game that you put down, Destiny 2. Okay. Destiny was my first experience with an online game. See, I grew up with video games ever since my dad decided to get us the OG Xbox. Now, I want to point out, the Xbox 360 was out at the time, but he got us the OG one because it was for the girls. Holy shit. Oh, God. It was for my sister and I, and it was to be our Christmas present. I want to point out he'd also bought a bunch of Tom Clancy games for the OG Xbox at the same time, but let's not mention that. But they were always single-player affairs. So he bought the OG Xbox for the girls so he could play some older games on it. I see. The idea, of course, as many of you will have dealt with in your time, is ongoing subscriptions and online console services were not to be spoken of, certainly within my household. That was until I was out of the house. A bright young undergrad student who had managed to take the Xbox 360 with her to college and continue her gaming ways. Yes, my dad kept our Xbox at home while I went away. I do want to point out, though, that he still to this day plays Ghost Recon all the time on the OG Xbox in the house. Fair enough. Fair enough. He's still gaming on it to this day. Fair enough. That OG Xbox is still going strong. I'm not surprised. It was built like a fucking tank, that thing. Servers are still, apparently, he still plays Ghost Recon to this day. Now, you see, a new game was coming out, and I was intrigued. Destiny. Some sort of space game. And even though it was an FPS and I barely knew anything about shooting people, it also seemed to have some cool magic abilities for the characters. I was interested. So I rented the game from Redbox. Oh my god, this is old school. I rented the game from Redbox and figured I'll give it a little try. I still didn't have any kind of online subscription to Xbox Live, but supposedly there were things you could do without the online subscription. At the character select screen, I really wanted to play the mage type character, the warlock. But I remembered from the one time I tried and failed to get into Mass Effect that the mage equivalent class in that game hadn't been allowed to use certain weapon types like sniper rifles. And thinking that's just how shooters balance themselves in all games, I didn't want stupid Destiny to lock me out of weapons here too. I knew better. I was a seasoned gamer by this point. So I rolled a hunter. Now, an important note for those unfamiliar with Destiny, there are no weapon type restrictions in this game. I definitely could have rolled a warlock and used sniper rifles, but I didn't know any fucking better, so shut your mouth. I hope you're amused by how truly baby I was in this game and that I knew nothing about what I was doing. I landed, of course, in the Cosmodrome, woken up from death by my ghost and hopped around shooting dregs and thralls in the starting area. And then I had to return the rental to Redbox. But I was hooked. So, I went and rented it again. And again. And again. And then I realized this was ludicrously unsustainable financially, and I was just throwing my money away a few bucks at a time. At some point, I would either need to suck it up and buy the game, or give up and leave Destiny behind. Problem was, I was a broke-ass college student. I didn't have a fucking penny for either the game itself or Xbox Online. I had classes, so I made the responsible choice. One day, I stuck the rental case back in the slot and didn't look back. I thought you were going to steal the game. I honestly thought you were going to steal the game. I totally thought you were going to say the disc broke. I mean, I assume you still have to buy it, right? Like, they'll still charge you if you do that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll come for you. I thought you were going to swap it with a different game, something like that. No, she turned in her game. She hung up her case. That was it. But of course, I was not to be a broke college student forever. After I graduated and got myself a real job, well, things changed. There was a new console generation, and I was newly equipped with disposable income. A PlayStation 4 was purchased, and the first game I bought for it, Destiny. And now, the pièce de résistance. A PlayStation Plus subscription as well. I was ready to join the online universe proper. Being on an entirely new platform, and now with the knowledge that there was no weapon lockouts in the game, I rolled a class I always wanted to be, a beautiful, powerful, elegant, awoken warlock. By this point in Destiny's life cycle, we were in the Taken King era, which many consider to be the highest point in Destiny 1's run. The game was vibrant, there was so much to do, but despite my new online capabilities, I just didn't know how do I play with other people. I could see them, but how do we do things? I treated Destiny like it was a single player. The other guardians in the tower were just silent entities, hopping decorations that occasionally danced. Sure, I did match-made strikes and missions, but there were parts of the endgame, like raids, that didn't use matchmaking. They required a pre-made team. I didn't know how to get a team like that. Because as you know, yes, I do know, and I'm shocked that this still exists, Destiny has no in-game LFG and basically no real player social services. I need to download the app. I think I got told you do it through an app or something. For me, I just considered these to be activities for other players. Players who did these things and continued on my merry, single-playing way. Now, I did have some friends who played the game, but certainly not a full fire team. That seemed like an improbable number to get 6 people of Destiny friends, and I certainly wasn't going to risk playing with freaks and strangers who may be pedophiles. Jesus Christ. You've left college. You're not the target anymore. You've grown up. You're fine. But of course, as we know, strangers online, creepers. Here's a girl online. Sadly, there's still a thing. Still there. It was far too frightening to consider playing with strangers. At some point along my path, I heard online about a mega clan that was designed about being specifically for women who played Destiny. They were called the Lipstick Warriors. And figured, sure, that sounds like a safe place to be. I'll sign up. I didn't really know what a clan was for, but you got bonuses for it and they didn't seem to require me to do anything. So it felt low risk. Now, the Lipstick Warriors was not just a clan. They were a group that was so massive, they couldn't all fit their members in a single in-game Destiny clan. And thus, they sprawled across several subgroup clans that they sorted new members into, all connected under one united banner. I joined their Discord, hundreds of other people, and felt immediately very overwhelmed. I'm much too shy to do anything than lurk around in the threads. Especially because I had no idea what the fuck I was supposed to do in this Discord channel. They, of course, had an affiliated mega clan for guys who wanted to be in the network too. Oh, God. What were they called? The Thirsty Warriors? I shouldn't judge. Perhaps they were all gentle sirs that were affiliated with the all-girl clan. Probably, right? They were probably all, like, really good dudes. Really, really good dudes. The Kens, the Barbies, the Kens, the Simp Lords. Yeah. I'm sure it was fine. Dies of cringe. Who had a mega clan of guys who wanted to be in the network too. And overall, it was just a lot of people. I assumed I would never actually interact with any of them, really. Just keep to myself and keep on as I had. But then something changed, my friends. The Taking King era was winding down, and it was time for their annual event, Moments of Triumph. The premise of this is simple and persists to this day even in Destiny 2. Basically, it's a checklist of things to accomplish in the game to prove that you had literally done it all. You got 2 shaders, 2 emblems, and a code to purchase an IRL matching t-shirt. The emblem I wanted most was called the Shield of the Traveler. It was gorgeous. It was slick. It was in deep navy and bright aqua, some of my favorite colors, and I had to have it. The only problem, the list of objectives required a raid kill, and I still didn't know anything about how raids worked in this game. There was no hope for me. It was out of reach, but the Lipstick Warriors was a really lovely clan that was designed to be welcoming to new players, and I happened to see that they were offering something special. They had a thread for this achievement, and anybody who needed a raid completion for their Moments of Triumph could just sign up. And then several teams of experienced veteran raiders would muster and clear them for you. Perfect. It seemed perfect. What did I have to lose? Still, I was nervous. Would they hate me because I didn't know what I was doing? Maybe. The event was for new raiders, but what if there was some kind of raid etiquette? Some kind of process that I didn't even know about? Still, the excitement outweighed the anxiety. I was going to see what a raid was like. Take my first steps into this forbidden side of the game I never thought I'd ever be able to access. So the day came, my friends. Me and one other newbie synced into the fire team with 4 veterans, and off we went for the raid. King's Fall. We loaded into a massive arena with crystal pillars and a hazy skybox overlooking Saturn. It was gorgeous. The veterans talked about swapping somebody out real quick. I didn't know why, and then the other newbie and I were given our instructions. I was ready. I wanted to do well and prove that I could learn how to raid like everybody else. Our orders? Stand in the middle point between the pillars. Shoot things. That was it. In about 3 minutes, it was over. A boss was dead, a glowing chest cracked open at the end, and a raid completion gained. In hindsight, this was the obvious way to do something like this. The 4 veterans just stuck the raid babies in a safe spot and did the encounter around us. They kept a checkpoint to the very final boss on one character to load right to the end every time, and then swapped that character out with a fresh one before doing the encounter so the other checkpoint was preserved. I didn't know you could do save raid lockouts in Destiny. You could do that. Yeah, so they're saving a raid lockout. Interesting. I mean, it's the WoW way of doing things. I didn't think you could do that in Destiny. That's interesting to know. Okay. I mean, we wouldn't do that, but still, like, that's interesting. Yeah, and shared them. It was quick. It was professional. It was efficient. A way to crank out the completions for players who needed them without needing them to teach multiple bosses or what to do. It was a very kind thing for the clan to set up for people like me who didn't know how to raid. And I was pleased to have that completion box ticked. I got both the emblem, which I used for the remainder of Destiny 1's life cycle, and my matching t-shirt. But I was disappointed. Technically, I really didn't get to raid properly. I'd psyched myself up to finally try it, and I just got carried. That wasn't what I was waiting for. I didn't actually get any sense of what raiding was. But it looked fucking cool. It looked really cool. Seeing these people so good at the game that they were just carrying us and we could just do whatever we wanted and not fail. It put an itch on me and I wanted more. I was no longer a baby. Now, I needed to become a gamer. The new expansion came out and an online acquaintance of mine invited me to a new clan, founded by a streamer friend of his. The streamer herself seemed nice, so I hopped ship and left the mega clan behind. Here in a smaller group of friends rather than a massive crowd of strangers, I finally figured out what clans could really be. I got invited to my first real raid, a run of the new one, Wrath of the Machine. This time I did homework. I watched the guides online first, that I would know all the mechanics and I wouldn't embarrass myself with a new team. It was amazing. I'd never experienced anything like it in the game before. Every encounter was a spectacle, from the close calls of barely escaping deadly rooms to facing the final robot Archon himself. The music was incredible and the gameplay. I immediately loved the coordination of every person playing their parts, the half puzzle, half dance of their encounters, the quick call-outs and recoveries, way more fun than regular old strikes and patrols. I had become a gamer. Not only that, my friends, I had become a raider. We danced through Wrath completions, learned the fights top to bottom. When Bungie announced a new event at the end of the D1 cycle, Age of Triumph, I jumped in on that too. All 4 raids in the game were being refreshed and brought up to max level, with brand new beautiful armor sets for completing them. So I went back and did all the other raids too, slurping up that sweet, sweet glam along the way. We felled Atheon in the Vault of Glass. I've done that. We bullied the hell out of the Hive Pantheons, and I even made it back to where it all began, slaying Oryx in Kingsfall. I had legitimately cleared every raid. I had real friends to play with, and my fashion game was fucking clean. I was a Destiny god. And onward we went into Destiny 2. Which, after a stumble of a start, finally found its feet in the critically acclaimed award-winning expansion, no, not Heaven's Ward, Forsaken. And Forsaken brought with it the Dreaming City, the holy homeland of Awoken, and Destiny's first and only, really, endgame destination. It was gorgeous. A lavish, opulent zone, so beautiful I never wanted to leave. It had an ongoing story that you had to come back to see the next part of week to week. The first time Destiny ever put real effort into its narrative. It was full of secrets, hidden challenges, and it changed what was available to unlock based on what players had done on a weekly rotation cycle. And it brought with it a new raid. The best raid in the franchise to this day, bar none. The Last Wish. A dense and long and complex and is every bit as gorgeous and entrancing as the rest of the Dreaming City. I was smitten. Its release was brutal. Only 2 teams in the world finished at the first day to get the 24-hour emblem. Shout out to the Datto and the Math Class team with their 3rd place clear at the infamous 24-hour and 2-minute mark. So they put in an award for clearing the raid day 1, and this team did it at 24 hours, 2 minutes. Ouch. Ouch. You will always be in our hearts, the author says. See, the Dreaming City as a destination had its own wearable title that you could get for completing a long grind of getting most of the challenges in the zone and acquiring every piece of zone loot. The Cursebreaker. I did the grind, and I wore the title with pride, showing off my diligence in conquering everything the Dreaming City could throw at me. But the Last Wish raid had its own title, and its own related challenges to unlock. Rivensbane. It was a hefty list of stuff to do, but the most difficult of these raid challenges was the infamous Petra's Run. A full, flawless completion of the raid. You were not allowed... Oh, they did an immortal. Oh, I see. With no deaths in the fire team whatsoever. To qualify as a Petra's Run, you have to input a code at the very beginning of the raid on the wish wall to tell the game that you're attempting the flawless run. From that point onward, any death in the party will immediately kick the whole team to orbit to restart the run. At least you get another go at it, right? It wasn't a weekly lockout like WoW was with its immortal and shit. That was rough. Now, several of the people in my clan who had successfully completed Petra's Run, but though I expressed interest in getting a group together for it myself, nobody seemed interested. So, I had to do something I didn't want to do. Realizing if I wanted this achieved, I would have to go to the pug world. I would have to find strangers. And you know how I feel about those. Despite my years of raiding experience in Destiny at this point, I immediately felt a lot like I had when joining that mega clan back in the day. Lost in a massive crowd of online strangers, terrified of being found out as a noob who didn't know what the fuck she was doing. I was overwhelmed and just wanting to lurk again, but I kept an eye on the Last Wish LFG channel, and when someone mentioned the Petra's Run, I steeled my nerves and I signed up. And it went fine. We did some attempts, all failed, and the group eventually gave up. But nobody was rude, and we all partied amicably. Maybe pugging's not so bad. Maybe I built it up in my brain. Maybe I could just do it this way. Maybe just like getting over my fear back in the Mega Clan and joining that newbie raid, I just needed to break through my own predetermined ideas. And then see, it was fine. I could do it too. So I watched the channel again. I joined another Petra's Run attempt group. Failed. I realized I was good enough to do this. In fact, in some of these groups, I was the shit. I wasn't dying. Everyone else was dying. When teams would reach the difficult platforming section, a broken bridge through the ascendant plane between the second and third bosses, I started offering to be the one who actually platformed across so the others could choose to join me without risking it. I believe they've now patched this, by the way. RIP to all the Petra's groups who now have to get everyone else across that legit, lol. I spent a few weeks joining groups on and off, and then finally decided I'll make my own group. This is the move. So, I wanted to do it. I ended up getting COVID, and with my quarantine downtime, decided this is the perfect time to get Petra's Run. Thank you, COVID. Even though in my convalescence, I didn't exactly have the best focus, practice was practice, though. Some groups stumbled over themselves in the first room. Some made it all the way to the very final relay race of the Queen's Walk before a mistake snatched it all away. But in your words, Mike, it was fucking doable. We were cusping. It was right there. I couldn't taste or smell anything in real life, but I could fucking smell victory. I could smell it right there. One day I spent 5 grueling hours with a team who really didn't know what the fuck was going on. I signed on again the next day, only mildly feverish, hoping for better progress, and spun up a new group. Soon I had 5 other hopefuls in one of the 100 plus raid voice channels in the server, and we were off to hack away at that many-voiced wish dragon once more. Immediately, we realized one of our raiders was one of those guys. I had now played with potentially 100 plus people in Destiny 2 Online, and now was the day when I met that guy. Mate, is you a girl trying to lead a group in a video game? Mate, show us your tits. Show us your tits, though. Are you raiding in panties or what? Bet you is, isn't you? Bet you is. Are you thinking about my voice? Good, innit, mate? It's well good. Even more vaguely sexist nonsense over comms were going on and on and on. And despite the fact that there were 2 obviously female raiders in the team with him, he wouldn't go any stopper. Now, I'll be honest. It wasn't anything egregious or aggressive, but definitely enough to get some side eyes from the rest of us. Oh, the way you do DPS. I bet you must be beautiful. Dies of cringe. It's that voice though, innit, lads? So annoying. Yeah, I don't feel good for the girls at all, man. Fucking rough. But the run was underway, so whatever. We're not going to find another guy. Oh, Jesus Christ. Despite Prince Charming here, we did pretty amazing on our first go at it. Breezed through a couple of bosses, sailed through the run-killing Death Bridge jumping puzzle, slayed the 3rd boss, and made it all the way to the vault. The 4th of the 6 main encounters. Someone made a call-out mistake and the resulting death kicked us all out, but I immediately felt energized. Clearly these were raiders who knew these encounters and could do it for real. Completion was in reach. The arsehat, however, just went, GG, I knew girls can't even fucking play games, and quit. I want to be clear, it wasn't one of the girls who had died. But the remaining 5 of us, bewildered at this choice, just kind of laughed in shock. It had been a decent run, it was only our first attempt. What kind of dude joins a pug for one of the hardest challenges in the game and leaves after the very first wipe when we made it almost 3/4 of the way through? Well, whatever. None of us were particularly devastated to see him go. So we reopened the LFG listing to repug our last slot and go again. And on the very next attempt, we did it. Completely flawless. A god gamer joined and the Petrus run. My Rivensbane was complete. The fact that the sexist idiot in the group missed it by just 1 try made it feel even fucking better. Last Wish is still my favourite raid, and for many years on my birthday I've grabbed a group of friends to go through it just for old time's sake. I love running teaching raids because the joy of bringing a brand new player into a raid and showing them the magic reminds me of my old anxiety-ridden start that I had. I love the idea that I can now be a veteran showing people. And for the old time's sake, I dug out the old moments of Triumph Emblem from the feud, and I want to show you my glam. Maybe you can give it a rating. Alright, hold on. Hold on. I've got to say, Destiny 2 glam, it's not the best. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, I suppose. I mean, it matches. It matches, ladies and gentlemen. It does match. We've got a lovely sort of cyan spearmint with some purple thrown in. We got the Rivensbane title. Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. A little bit of gold trim on the edges. No bunny feet. Yeah, kind of sad. Oh, the people who know what it is appreciate it. If you know, you know. And if you know, you know. I'm going to show you mine in a second. I'm going to blow your balls off. Okay. Okay. In the years since, I have unfortunately fallen away from Destiny 2 a bit. Real life and starting to split my time between that Warlock and my, oh god, Vieira Red Mage. Where I'm an okay Savage Raider. Of course you're a Vieira Red Mage. Classic. Based. 7 out of 10. My old Destiny clan fell apart in a way that wasn't particularly fun drama, just people kind of being rude. And I went out and found a new clan. A small crew seemed inclusive, welcoming, and excited about endgame challenges. I haven't got to play with them as much as I want to, but everyone I've hung out with there has been nice. And I hope I'll be able to go back to them soon, maybe. Thanks for not kicking me out of the Discord, you guys, even though I haven't been active lately. I'm still glad to be there. Nice, nice, nice. But for now, that is the end of my little tale. From a single-player newbie almost too nervous to join a clan event designed for raid babies, to a fully-fledged Rivensbane who pugged her way to a flawless clear. I feel like I owe the kind people of that old mega clan for showing me the way, even though I don't remember their names and never got to know them. I owe so much of my joy in Destiny to them and their kindness setting it up. Yes, it matters. Mike and chat. I hope you like this, though it ended up a little longer than I expected. I'll leave you with this. Something to remember. Be kind to your noobs and blueberries and sprouts. You never know who needs a little bit of confidence. Fuck them. Throw them in the river. P.S. I feel a little bad that this story is so long and didn't give you guys something to smack your gavels over. So, For the Team Destiny crew in chat, I offer you my greatest raiding shame as a confession. I might be a Rivensbane, but I have never cleared the Riven fight legit. It's totally not my fault though. I really want to do it legit, but every group I've ever been in has insisted on cheesing it because doing it legit is too hard. Am I guilty for that? Sound off in chat. Giga guilty. And when we get there with our Destiny 2 squad, we will be doing it legit. Because we won't know what the cheese is. We did it legit? Have I done it? Yeah, I will do it legit because I don't know what the cheese is, and neither does the rest of my team, and that's all right. Okay, and to finish us off for today, Raven has decided to share his Destiny 2 glam with us, and apparently, in his words, this is going to blow our balls off. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? My balls are still very much attached to my body following this purple and white cowboy effect that's happening here. It looks like Braggart on tour to me. You will never pass the vault fully blind. Never. I think I've heard that many, many times at this point, and everything has fallen in our path. Everything has died. My eyes, it's okay, it's fine. I mean, you'll definitely recognize them in the crowd. Ladies and gents, that brings us to the end of drama time for this week. There may be a stream tomorrow afternoon. There might not be. But I want to thank you all for being here. On Monday, we are pushing in with some FF12, and next week we'll also do something new, I believe. I am going to go and wash my face because it is absolutely ludicrously hot in here, and I fucking sweating my balls off. But thank you for another week, and I'm off to the gym, so be good. I'll see you in a bit, guys.